Is your car losing power, burning more fuel than usual, or showing a mysterious check engine light? Don't ignore it. A failing EGR valve can cause rough idling, engine misfires, poor fuel economy, and even leave you facing expensive repair bills if the problem goes unchecked. And make sure you stay until the end, because symptom number 6 is often mistaken for a much more serious engine problem, causing many drivers to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars replacing parts they never actually needed. In this video, we're covering the 7 most common bad EGR valve symptoms and the warning signs every driver should know before a small problem turns into a major headache. The EGR valve, or exhaust gas recirculation valve, helps reduce harmful emissions by sending a small amount of exhaust gas back into the engine. But when the valve becomes clogged, stuck open, or stuck closed, it can create a chain reaction of engine performance problems that affect power, fuel economy, drivability, and reliability. So, how do you tell if an EGR valve is bad? Let's start with the most common symptom. Number 1. Rough idle. The first and most common symptom of a bad EGR valve is a rough idle. If your steering wheel shakes while you're stopped at a red light, or your engine feels unusually rough while sitting still, your EGR valve may be to blame. When the valve becomes stuck open, exhaust gases continue entering the combustion chamber even when the engine is idling. This disrupts the ideal air-fuel mixture needed for smooth operation. As a result, you may experience engine vibrations, fluctuating RPMs, rough running, or even occasional stalling. Many drivers mistake this symptom for bad spark plugs, dirty fuel injectors, or ignition problems when the real culprit is a failing EGR valve. In fact, rough idle is often one of the earliest signs of a bad EGR valve. Number 2. Engine misfires and check engine light. The next major warning sign is an engine misfire accompanied by a check engine light. A faulty EGR valve can dramatically affect the combustion process by allowing too much or too little exhaust gas into the cylinders. When combustion becomes unstable, one or more cylinders may fail to fire correctly. This creates what is known as an engine misfire. You may notice jerking, hesitation, rough acceleration, or intermittent shaking while driving. Fortunately, modern vehicles constantly monitor engine performance. When the ECU detects abnormal combustion events, it typically stores a fault code and activates the check engine light. If you're wondering how to tell if an EGR valve is bad, engine misfires combined with a check engine light are among the strongest warning signs. Never ignore the check engine light, especially when drivability problems appear at the same time. Number 3. Loss of engine power. Another common symptom of a bad EGR valve is a noticeable loss of engine power. Have you ever pressed the accelerator and felt like your vehicle simply wasn't responding the way it used to? That's because proper combustion depends on precise airflow and fuel delivery. When the EGR valve malfunctions, that balance is disrupted. The result is sluggish acceleration, poor throttle response, and reduced performance under load. You may especially notice the problem while climbing hills, towing a trailer, merging onto highways, or attempting to pass another vehicle. Many drivers describe the feeling as if the engine has suddenly become weak or lazy. Loss of engine power is one of the most frustrating EGR valve problems because it directly impacts your daily driving experience. Number 4. Engine hesitation and stalling. Another warning sign of EGR valve failure is engine hesitation. Instead of responding instantly When you press the accelerator, the vehicle may hesitate briefly before gaining speed. This delay can become particularly noticeable in stop-and-go traffic or when pulling away from an intersection. As the problem worsens, hesitation can eventually lead to vehicle stalling. Your engine may suddenly shut off while idling or even while driving at low speeds. Besides being inconvenient, stalling can create dangerous situations in traffic. If your vehicle regularly hesitates or stalls, a malfunctioning EGR valve should be inspected as soon as possible. Number 5. Poor fuel economy. The next symptom often shows up where it hurts most: your wallet. Poor fuel economy is another common consequence of a failing EGR valve. Because the engine is no longer operating efficiently, it must work harder to produce the same amount of power. As a result, you'll naturally burn more fuel during everyday driving. Many drivers first notice the issue when they find themselves visiting the gas station more frequently than normal. You may also experience reduced gas mileage despite maintaining the same driving habits. If your fuel costs have suddenly increased for no obvious reason, a faulty EGR valve may be contributing to the problem. Number 6. Excessive exhaust smoke. This is the symptom many drivers mistake for a completely different engine problem. One of the more visible symptoms of a bad EGR valve is excessive exhaust smoke. When exhaust gas recirculation is no longer functioning properly, combustion efficiency can suffer significantly. This may result in darker than normal smoke coming from the tailpipe. Many drivers immediately assume the problem is related to worn piston rings, valve seals, or major engine damage. However, a malfunctioning EGR valve can also contribute to abnormal exhaust smoke and increased emissions. Any sudden change in exhaust appearance should be investigated immediately. Ignoring it could lead to bigger problems later. Number 7. Failed emissions test. The final symptom often catches drivers completely by surprise. A failed emissions test. Remember, the EGR valve's primary purpose is reducing harmful emissions. When it stops working correctly, emission levels can increase dramatically. As a result, your vehicle may fail a mandatory emissions inspection. Many drivers don't discover EGR valve problems until they're handed a failed emissions report. If you've recently failed an emissions test while experiencing other bad EGR valve symptoms, the EGR system should be one of the first components inspected. So what should you do if you're experiencing several of these signs of a bad EGR valve? In some cases, the valve may simply be clogged with carbon buildup. A professional EGR valve cleaning can often restore normal operation and improve engine performance. However, if the valve's mechanical or electronic components have failed, an EGR valve replacement may be necessary. The good news is that replacing an EGR valve is often far less expensive than repairing engine damage caused by prolonged neglect. The longer you ignore these symptoms, the greater the risk of additional engine performance problems and costly repairs. Addressing the issue early can save you significant money in the long run and prevent the problem from spreading to other engine components. Let's quickly recap the 7 most common symptoms of a bad EGR valve: rough idle, engine misfires and check engine light, loss of engine power, engine hesitation and stalling, poor fuel economy, excessive exhaust smoke, failed emissions test. If you're noticing any of these warning signs of a bad EGR valve, don't wait until the problem becomes more serious. Early diagnosis and repair can restore your vehicle's performance, improve fuel efficiency, and help you avoid expensive repair bills. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more automotive repair tips, and leave a comment below. Have you ever experienced any of these bad EGR valve symptoms? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.